All right, we're starting in just a moment here. Let me get some windows up and running here. Just give me a second. Pop out. Okie dokie, I think we're live. I think we're ready to go. All right, so this is our first Homework Haxers. I'm Galen. I'm Galen from Sunset Spark. This is our new stream where we are helping, get out of my way, computer, where we are helping high school students do their coding homework. I feel partially responsible for this. I work with various CS for Alls and initiatives and things like that, and I see kids now struggling with their coding homework, and I feel partially responsible. As a high school student, I copied a lot of homework, and so I thought I would pay it forward and help kids out with their Python homework. Yes, Arturo, I am helping kids do their coding homework. So if you've got coding homework, Arturo, send it in. You got my contact info, and I'll do it live. In coding, there's no such thing as copying, or there's no such thing as cheating. You copy code all the time. So copying is within the right of every programmer. And so if I do your homework, you can copy me while I do it on Twitch, and you'll have it done. You can learn a lot from copying code. That is how a lot of programmers learn. And let me just get this set up here. Our first assignment comes to us from a 9th grader in Brooklyn. I don't want to say where. I don't want to put the teacher or the class on blast, but I will say it's a 9th grade. It is a 9th grade coding assignment for Python class. And you wish you had Python class. You struggled so hard, Arturo, to get into that. I can't tell you the school that they're at. That feels like it would be wrong. Okay, so let me bring up my display here. Let's go over the homework. All right, so here's our homework assignment. They've got to create a file, and they're going to name the file 7 while loop your name pi. And it looks like they are learning, I don't know what they're learning. Let's read through it. Task 1, 20 points in total, 1A. Write a program that asks the user for the temperature in Fahrenheit and then prints a temperature in Celsius. That's easy. We're converting from Fahrenheit to Celsius. That seems semi-straightforward. Not knowing much about temperatures seems straightforward. Write a program that asks the user for Celsius and then prints out in Fahrenheit. Same thing, the opposite. Okay, task 2. Write a program that asks the user for a temperature, then asks the user if they want to convert to Fahrenheit or Celsius. Convert as the user desires and print the result. You can and probably should reuse your code from task 1. Sure enough. Reusing code is always good. Always a good plan. Rewrite your task 2 program so that it runs nonstop. In other words, the user gives input information, and the program prints a result. Then the user gives more input information, prints a result, gives more forever and ever and ever. They're really trying to sell that point there that you should be using a loop. You'll need to comment out your code. Use Control/. They haven't taught you comments? Oh, I see. They're probably saying you can highlight all of your code and then do Control/. Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. Task 4, rewrite task 2 so that it runs 5 times before stopping immediately. Okie doke. So we don't want task 2. So task 2, okay, so tasks 2, 3, and 4 are all related, all kind of just doing the same thing again in different ways. Write your task 3 program so that if the user enters help in response to an input question, the loop breaks. Okie doke. And they gave some explanations here. For program 1, here's some hints. Kilometers equals input. How many kilometers have you traveled? And then it converts. And then it prints it out. I don't know if that string there is necessary. Okie doke. Gives a hint over here on how to use a while loop. Interesting how they did their while loop. I think I'm going to do mine differently. I'll have to communicate in some way with the student who sent this in, because the trick I'm going to use is slightly different than what they're doing. Although I like that they had a little cheat thing there. I assume they've already learned what plus equal means. Sometimes students have problems with plus equal. And then some more of that over here. That's weird. It's strange that yeah, he or she is probably just copying and pasting the code so that it doesn't have to, because they're not really using that. Anyway, these are just little helpful hints. All right, so let's get to it. I am going to use hello Alexis. Let me bring up my coding page here. I am going to use a tool called all right. Let's make that full screen. Let's make this full screen. Okay, we've got our 2 pages. Okay, I'm going to use a tool called Replit. I'm not sure what editor they use at the school for this, but I was told that they can use whatever they want. So I'm going to use Replit, which is the website's repl.it. And so I'm going to use that because I have a little interpreter over here. And if you want, I can share out the link so everyone can see the code afterwards, as opposed to me writing it on my computer where I wouldn't be able to do it afterwards. Let's arrange my windows a little better. Okay, so task 1. First off, we have to have our name, 7 loop your name. I'm going to name my file here. Will it let me rename? And when I do this with my other class, it lets me rename them. Not important. Plus, if I put my name in there, someone might copy my code and leave my name in there. We wouldn't want that to happen. Okay, so first things first, we're going to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius and Celsius to Fahrenheit. So I'm going to start by creating 2 functions. And I'm going to do that with def for define the functions. I'm going to make that a little bigger, def. And I'm going to do, what was the first one? I'm going to do F2H. F2H. You can use, typically Python programs will use underscores and their variable names and their function names. And a function name would start with a lowercase letter, so I'm going to keep it like that. And, no, sorry, F to C. And we're going to put the F temp in here. So we've got a def, the function name, open parentheses, and we're going to have 1 parameter here, and we're going to put the colon. Then we got I have my tabs set to 4 spaces. So then we're going to return ctemp. I don't know what ctemp is going to be yet, but ctemp equals Fahrenheit to Celsius. Sure, that's spelled vaguely close. All right, how do we convert? Minus 32 divided by 1.8, 0, 0, 0. So we're going to do ftemp minus 32, and we need to put that in parentheses, so that happens first. And then we do divided by 1.8000. Okay. So that's our first function. Let's do the other way. Def C to F. And this one is going to take a C temp, and it's going to convert to return F temp. All right. If anyone's following along at home and seems confused by this, feel free to ask questions in the chat, and I will talk more about this. So these are going to be two helper functions that we're going to use throughout our code, ctemp and ftemp. Sorry, F to C and C to F. So for this, if we're going to return ftemp, we need to make ftemp. So let's go Celsius to Fahrenheit. To Celsius to Fahrenheit, we do C times 1.8, then plus 32. C temp times 1.800. Is it 3 zeros or 2 zeros? 3 zeros. 3 zeros. And then we'll put that in parentheses. Not really important because the order of operations will cover that for us, plus 32. Let's do a quick test of our code. So if I run over here, it's going to run it. So let's do F to C, and let's do 100, and see what we get. We didn't get anything because we didn't print. 37.7778. Here, let's do it this way. Let's do test 1 equals F to C 100. Oops, should be lowercase 100. And then let's do test 2 equals F to C test 1. And let's do test 0 equals 100. This is for my own edification here. So if we use 100 here, then at the end, test 2 should equal 100. So let's see. Let's do print test 2. Wow! That's not what we wanted. Oh, that should be C to F. All right. Boom. All right. So our code at least is converting between the same things. I don't know if it's actually correct, but it seems correct. All right. So the question was, write a program that asks the user for a temperature in Fahrenheit and then prints a temperature in Celsius. So let's do def task 1A. Input. As a programmer, doing things professionally, I don't think I ever really use input very often as a function. In Python, you don't really get input from the command line in Python, at least for the work that I did for a very long time. I was a Python programmer for 10 or 11 years. I guess I still am a Python programmer. Here I am programming Python. But I don't know where I was going with that thought. Okay. Give me a temperature and let's just copy it. And Fahrenheit, and I will convert it. Okay, and we need to set that to a value, so we're going to do ftemp equals this. Now, from what I understand from the student, a lot of the work is checking input conversion. If it were me, I would write a helper function for it, but I think your teacher's going to be very, very, very suspicious if you have a helper function for input testing. I'll do that at the end as a bonus for myself. Ftemp. So we're going to do ftemp try ftemp equals int. I guess it could be a float, ftemp, except you don't really, normally you might put an except value here, like you'd put like value error, but I'll be honest, if you're getting an error here, print you didn't give the temperature needs to be a number. Okay. And I'm not sure what the teacher wants you to do if they don't give a number. Should you just try it? Like, it doesn't say try again. So let's do else. Print. You didn't get, let's do except. You didn't give a number, so I'm not converting anything. All right. Let's do that's print F2C ftemp degrees Celsius. Okay. Task 1A. Let's test it. Oops. Give a temperature and I will convert it. 100. Oh, interesting. I guess you do need this string around there. Okie doke. In my day, you didn't need that, I don't think. It would just do it. Let's try it this way. 100. There we go. Just use commas. And then you get this cool 37.7777. It doesn't say anything about floats versus integers, so I'm going to assume that they don't care. But if they did care, you probably would just want to use. If they did care, an alternative way to do this would be print that plus string F to C plus degrees Celsius. Okay. Let's look at the difference. Okay, well, I need to put the spaces in there. That's obviously different. If you want to shorten it, there's a few different ways you can shorten it. The most straightforward approach would just be to chop off only take the first few digits. Like if we say 5, it's only going to take the first 5 things there, including the period. So you could do that. I don't know if they have learned string tricks. So I'm gonna leave it like this. All right, so task 1A works. Let's do task 1B. Same deal. Now we just have to very carefully copy and paste. I feel like this is the trick. Like, I would definitely screw this up. In the copying pasting department, if I was a high school student. Like, you want to make sure we have 2 functions, F to C and C to F. So you just want to make sure that everywhere where there's Fahrenheit in 1A and 1B, you put Celsius, and vice versa. So we want to ask for the temperature in Celsius. We're going to store it as a C temp, and then we're going to use C to F to print it out in Fahrenheit. All right, let's test that out. Task 1A. I'm just going to comment that out so it's there for later. Task 1B. Let's give this a whirl. $50. What? That's not true. 50. You didn't give a number, so I'm not converting it. What the bones? Oh, because it's called F temp. We have to change it to C temp. Not really necessary. If you want to save on copying and pasting, you just could call it temp. But I don't know. It's a good check to leave in place, like a mental check. But you could just call them all temps. But that can get confusing. So I'm being specific. I'm trying to be professional here with my variable names. Let's give it another whirl. 100. That's 212 degrees Fahrenheit. All right. Cool. All right, task 1B, done. Task 2, write a program that asks the user for a temperature and asks that user if they want to convert to Celsius or Fahrenheit. Convert as the user desires and print the result. Okay. Oh, I see what they're saying. Okay. Task 1. I see how this program is structured now. Okay. Def task 2. Input. Do you give me a temperature? I put the, okay, give me a temperature. Let's say, hey, I'm going to do a quick Python input. It's crazy to me that Python doesn't do this. It doesn't do type checking as you go. So I'm just in the docs here for Python. Input. That's not what we want. Input. Oh, there we go. Doesn't take anything else, just a prompt. Oh, that's a bummer. All right. What I was checking for was if we could put like int here, and then it would always do a type check to make sure that we get an integer back. Then we wouldn't have to use so many tries and accepts. That would definitely save some time for all this kind of stuff. If you're interested, I can do that. Let's see here. Give me a temperature. Okay. See, this is just going to be a temp. Try temp equals float temp. If you don't know what a float is, I mean, you should know what a float is, my submitters out there. A float is just a number with decimals in it. Hopefully, it seems like this teacher would have taught like data types the first day of class, like real exciting stuff. Kids also learn data types. So let's do that. Except print that wasn't a number. Okay. Doing input validation, by the way, I'm just going to throw out there, I think having high school students do input validation on code is a very, very tedious and boring thing to focus on in a high school programming class or middle school programming class. Unless you're teaching someone to actually like hack and do like SQL injection and stuff like that, or buffer overflows to like break into a computer. There's no, I just, bit of editorializing. I think that having type validation for high school students is a bit of a killjoy or buzzkill or whatever. That wasn't a number. Okay. Where are we at on time? We're a half hour in. All right. That wasn't a number. Okay. So let's do this again. What's the question? You're supposed to, do you want to convert it to Fahrenheit? This is a silly question because you ask, they should be putting in the temperature as Fahrenheit or Celsius, never mind. Ideally, you would ask them and they type in like 34F, and then you would pull the F out of the code and turn it into here, really quick. Give me a temperature. Example, 32F, or let's do 78F, 31C. And you would ask for that, and you would do temp equals temp.strip. It might already, no, it doesn't already strip it when you do input. And then you would say, what is it, the format? What's the thing called? Temperature. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember what these are called. Formats? Formats, metrics. Anyway, you would do temp, and you would do temp -1 to 0, and that would pull the last letter. Let's just do I'm just going to call it format because no, let's call it. Oh my God, I can't believe this is so silly that I can't remember this. What do we call them? Why is my brain broken right now? This is what happens when you spend 12 years coding. You can't remember what those are called. They're not formats. They're not values. Anybody? Like there's the metric system, there's the British system. Anyway, let's back out of this. Anyway, we got to finish. We got to finish. I could have been done with this in a half hour if I just typed straight through. Okay, try, but I'm trying to explain. Temp. Let's do type. You don't really want to see how type's highlighted there. Let's call it temp type equals input is that F or C. And then they're going to type in except let's do except, wait, we don't really need to do try there. If temp type, let's sanitize our data. Let's do temp type dot strip dot lower. I don't know if strip takes off the last characters of it. So if you type in if you type in F with a bunch of spaces at the end, it will take off all those extra spaces. That's what strip does, if you don't know that. And lower just makes it lowercase. You could also do upper. If temp type equal F, we're going to do something here. Let's type pass. Elif temp type equals C, do something else. Else print you didn't put in F or C. Okay. Let's take a look here. So they want you to redo your interesting. This is very tedious code in the sense that they want all these tries and excepts. Now I'm annoyed. They say reuse your code. I say forget it. Because of the way he structured the question, ask for the temperature first, and then ask what type. That kind of makes it so you can't reuse task 1A or task 1B. You could definitely reuse the code from it, but you can't reuse the actual function. I could restructure it, but if I restructure it, it's going to look very suspicious. And it doesn't really matter. Okay. You didn't type F or C. Let's do upper here. So if they did that, we're going to do, are we asking what they want to convert it to? In F or C. Let's do F to C temp. And here we're going to do C to F temp. And let's just call this converted. Converted equals that. Okay. print that's print. This isn't the best way to do it, but it's just busy work. So who cares? All homework is busy work, guys. I have news for you. That's converted degrees Celsius. Let's do print that's converted Oh, here's a way we could do it. I don't know how to save a line of code. I'm doing this to save a line of code, guys. Degrees temp type. Okay. Let's test out task 2. Oh, I never took that thing out. Hold on. Let me. Let's do 50. F. That's 10 degrees. Wait. Bugging my code. Converted. Let's do converted type equals Celsius. And let's do converted type equals Fahrenheit. All right, Fahrenheit. No, not right. Fahrenheit, okay. So temp type will do converted type. Okay. That should work. Let's do 32 Fahrenheit. That's 0 degrees Celsius. Great, that seems accurate. Okay, let's do task 2 again. Let's do 0 Celsius. That's 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Great, it works. All right, hope everyone's able to follow along. Task 2, nailed it. Task 3. So we're just gonna, while true, wait, let's do def task 3. While true. I'll be honest, the student who gave me this said she does not like programming, and I can see why. I can see why. It's all clicking. It's all clicking why someone who has to do this homework might not like programming. Rewrite your task 2 so it runs nonstop. All right, so task 3, while true, task 2. Let's do task 3. 5, F. 0, C. 100, C. All right, it keeps going. A trick to canceling out of your code is hitting Control and C if you're on a Mac, which I know this person is. So you can hit Control C and that will do a keyboard interrupt to knock out your program. I'm going to just do a little pretty print here. I'm just going to print. That should work, right? Just one new line. Do I need to put anything there? Task 3, 5F. Okay, cool. All right, task 3, nailed it. I'm just going to leave it commented here in case someone wants to run it later. Trick in programming, if you hit Control or Command C, if you're on a Mac, you hit Command C, or not Command C, sorry, Command / it will, and you highlight a bunch of code, it will comment out all that code. Boom, boom. All right, task 4. Rewrite task 2 so it runs 5 times before stopping immediately. Okay, def, task 4, colon. All right, we're going to do for nothing underscore. There's a time when like the cool JavaScript programs call this Lodash. Like oh, that's cool. Underscore, for underscore in range 5. Sorry, because we're going to get 5 numbers here. Task 2, print nothing. All right. This will ask 5 times using the range function. Just because you might not be familiar with it, range, if you do range 5, well, it doesn't help. Let's do list range 5. It will create a list of 5 numbers from 0 up to, but not including that final number. If you haven't learned range yet in your class, which maybe you haven't, let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4. What's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be for underscore in that. If you don't, it doesn't have to be underscore, you can say X. I don't know if you've learned for loops yet. Let me check. Have you learned for loops? If you've learned for loops, this is the preferred way to do what they're asking you to do. Let's look at task 5 while we wait. Rewrite task 3 so that it uses help to an input question. The loop breaks. What? That is just tedious work. Tedious. That they're going to make you rewrite the entire thing, copy and paste the entire thing just for some pointless exercise. If you haven't learned for loops, you can do it like they show in the homework, where we use a counter. But that is not what they would call the Pythonic way to do it. The way you would do it in Python is something more like this, or preferably like I showed before, where you do range 5. I'm going to leave it like this for now. All right, task 4, done. Def. Oh, we got to test task 4, just to make sure. Give me a temperature. 5, F, 4, F, 3, F. Let's put in something that's not a number. Oh, I found a bug in one of my codes. We've got to fix that. If this, it was in task 2. Except that wasn't a number. We just do return. 5, F, 4, F, 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 F. Okay. So it asks 5 times. I don't know if I'm supposed to repeat when they don't validate. If we are supposed to repeat when they don't validate, I have a significant rewrite to this. But I'm going to call task 4 done. Def task 5. Okay, task 5 is rewrite task 3 so that the user enters help into an input question. The loop breaks. Global input. I just want to test something out really quick. What's happening? My helpy is typing something in here. I'm getting a screenshot, hold on. I don't know what I'm supposed to make of this. Please hold while we're waiting. Task 2. We could just copy the whole thing. This is the format we're supposed to put them in. Oh, you're supposed to put comments. You're supposed to put a comment at the top of the code for the format. I think is what you're saying. Here, I'm going to do a second copy of this as soon as I finish. I'll copy everything and I'll do it the way I think it should be formatted. Okay. Although I'm so confused why you would submit it like that. But I have taught high school coding before and it seems strange. I've also been a high school student taking coding before and it seems strange. But who am I to question? So task 5. Oh, are you saying that that's the kind of loop you're supposed to use? Those are just while loops. I see. So there's a question. Am I doing it right with... Okay. So the question I have for the person whose homework this is this thing how you would do it in class where you have like a function, we put a function for each question? Like it seems strange to me that they keep asking programs, but it's all one file. Like I wouldn't call it a program. And so that part is a bit strange to me. Anyway, we can copy all of this for task 5. Let's call it task 5 helper. I'm just going to copy and paste the whole thing, as dumb as that is. And if, and every time we do input, we're going to check afterwards, and we're going to do if temp equals what is it? Help, then return. And then down here, we're going to do if temp type equals help, return. And then we're going to do oh, I see. All right, I think this is sort of a picture of what they pasted me. All right, let me, while true, what did I call this? Task 5, helper. Instead of return, let's do return -1. Return -1. Return -1. Wait, no. We're going to return -1 for if they type in help. Actually, let's just return help. Help. We could say ret equals that. While true, if ret equals help, then break. I don't know. That's how I would do it. I don't know how helpful this is. Kind of went off the rails. It works. I mean, let's test it. And then I'll try to format it the way give me a temperature. 5, F. Whoops. Let's do print after this again. 5, F. 4, help. And it broke. Okay. Let's do task 5 again. Let's do 100. Help. Oh, something happened. We got to return there. I found another error. Whenever we have, okay, simple enough. 5, help. You didn't put F or C. 7, F. Okay. So it doesn't sound like they have learned for loops yet. So I'm going to go back to my code up here, and I'll just do it the stupid way that they want us to do it. Trial true. This is not x equals 0. Let's do x equals 5 while x is greater than, let's do while x is less than equal to 5. Do x equals 1. X plus equals 1. All right. Wait, and let's do task 4. Let's comment out task 5. All right. 5, F. 6, F. 7, C, 0, C, 32, F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I just converted it to the way they did it, although the way they did it required 2 extra lines of code. So these are called while loops. That'll work. So the question is, if you want this code, you can get the code from, oh, I don't have my chat open on this screen. Give me a moment. I got to open another window on my other laptop so I can share out this code. This took longer than I thought. It took the whole hour. Cars, cars, cars. I'm solving a CAPTCHA right now, guys. Cars. Verify. Oh, I got it wrong. It's making me do it again. That's a bus. I'm in. No, I'm not in. Taxi. I guess that's a taxi. I don't know. What a dumb question. Motorcycles. I'm going to be locked out of my account because I'm not going to get this right. That's a motorcycle. Traffic lights. Traffic lights. Please try again. Traffic light, traffic light, traffic light, traffic light. Traffic light, traffic light, traffic light, traffic light, traffic light. Oh my God. It's never going to let me in. I just keep doing more CAPTCHAs. Bicycles now. Now I'm on to bicycles, guys. This is like my 11th CAPTCHA I've done in this short period of time. Those are all the bikes. Something went wrong. Back to buses. Bus, bus, bus. Bus. Guys, I hate computers. I'm going to throw that out there. There's no more buses. All right, let's do streetlights again. Streetlights. If I weren't mic'd up right now, I would be cursing very hard. Forget it. I guess I'm not getting into my account. Now I'm supposed to look for cars again. They're all cars. Car, car. Sure, that's a car too. Forget it. Let me get a new link. Let's do this a different way. Hold on, everyone. Give me a second. At this point, I could just type it in. So we're going to go to repl.it/join. Wait, no, I don't want you to join. repl/@SunsetSpark/NYC/homework hacksaws 2020 0529. Okie doke. Failed to connect. God. Is the link wrong, or what's the problem, guys? It's just not loading. Anyway, this should be the URL. Maybe that works for you. Maybe. So I think what I'm supposed to do, or what you're like, I don't understand. I think maybe you're supposed to do something like this. Program 1A. Program 1B. Oh, you gotta like, whoops. Wait, no, I don't wanna edit this, hold on. Let me create a new file. What to hand it in .py. Okay. I think you want something like this. We're gonna shrink, we're gonna move that in. If you highlight your code and you hit tab or shift tab, it will move it in, by the way. And we're going to say program 1A, program 1B. I think this is how you're supposed to hand it in. Program 2. But like, I don't understand how the teacher runs it if this is how you're handing it in. And this program 2 should really be a function. Like, there's no, if you're reusing that for 3 and 4, def task 2, let's just do that. And then we're going to do task 2, I guess. And then program 3 would be something like this. And program 4 would be something like this. And then program 5 would be all of this. Wait, no. Program 5, I had that helper in there. That's important. Program 5 would be all of this. I think that's what you'd want. Both those files are in there. I don't know how helpful this is now that I've done it. I didn't consider the turning it in part, but I think I have it formatted the way they want it, but I don't understand. To me, it seems crazy for a student to hand in homework like this because they wouldn't be able to test it unless you made the student write it in a way that fit this guidelines, but also made it so that you could test it. But my version already does it that way. Like if they know how to do definitions, then they should do, if they know how to do functions, then each one should be a function. It doesn't make sense to have it as a flat program like this, unless you were purposely trying to be tedious, or trying to be tedious because you didn't know that what you were asking for was tedious. I guess we're going to call it quits for that. I think I've got the main version, which is how to actually run it, and then the handed in version, which is maybe what your teacher wants you to hand in. I don't know. I've been programming Python for like 14 years, and I've been teaching kids programming for like 6 years, but I don't know if I did it right. There might still be some bugs in here. As a bonus, if you have questions, I'll follow up with you, person who handed this in to me. Anyway, that's been an hour. If I wasn't talking through it, I probably could have done it in like 15 minutes. But I think it's important to explain all the various intricacies of it. Plus, we have to figure out how to hand it in. That's it for homework help. Homework hackers. If you've got more homework out there, send it in. You can email hello@sunsetspark.org, and I will definitely take a look at it. I will do a quick turnaround. So when I get these in, I'll do it the next day, assuming I'm not busy. But I'll do a quick turnaround on these homework hackers live streams where I'll do your homework. They could probably find a bug in here. I bet there's one bug in here maybe, but you know what? Why shoot for the A? Get a B-, live a little. That's it. Have a great week.